Gina Williams, the RW to Rethinking Weight. And this is another episode of really having time of talking one on one to those who have gone through the same thing that I've gone through. And so I want to introduce to you Zion McKinnie. I'll say that she's a very good friend, but she's like my little daughter. She was one of my students at Gary Comer Youth Center, and she has grown to be a beautiful young woman. And I'm just so excited to have her in the studio today. Zion, are you with me?
I am. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Okay, we are just going to have a conversation here, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about our weight. You've heard some of my videos and you know a little bit about what I've gone through. Tell me about your story.
Okay. Well, I will say that I don't think that weight necessarily became an issue for me until post-secondary. So after I graduated high school, I was pretty active as a kid. Weight and my relationship with food was fine. I stepped into the workforce, was even more active than I was as a student. I was a disciplinarian at a Noble campus, so there was a lot of running up and down the stairs, breaking up fights. I was the dance coach, so I was probably averaging 5 hours of dancing a day.
Really? I
Yeah, I
did not
was.
know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was. I would dance. I would say 2.5 hours practice with the girls, and then I go back home and run routines myself, which was about 3 hours. Plus taking public transportation, running to not miss trains and buses. And then I was the they called it TNA's baseball mom. I kind of helped out with the baseball team, so I would say I coached baseball as well. So overall, it was just very active. So my weight was it was pretty stable, and it had naturally gone down from all the activity, but it went back up after I quit the job because my physical activity went from sky high to absolutely nothing. But the diet that I had to eat to sustain my weight at such physical activity levels didn't change. So what I was eating didn't change for my activity levels to
Mm.
drop. So I naturally gained a lot of weight really, really quickly. I was
Okay.
probably at like two pounds a week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Now tell me this. You said a lot in that. First of all, can you tell us your age?
I'm 23.
23. Oh, I remember 23. Okay. So you talked about eating and the eating consistently stayed the same after you left your job.
Yes.
What
And
was your
the
diet prior?
before leaving the job,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was really healthy. It was just a lot because I was working out so much. I would get up in the morning, drink a smoothie, eat avocado toast with feta cheese or what are the little cheese curds called? Cottage cheese.
Cottage
I'd
cheese.
eat it with cottage cheese, maybe some
Yeah.
chicken sausages, some tomatoes. I'd pack granola bars. I would typically leave campus for lunch, so I'd go to Mariano's and probably have like sushi or a sandwich. But it was depending on how much I did that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then dinner was, I would say, rice and peas and like fried plantain, some fried fish or jerk chicken, something like really Caribbean. That was pretty much the standard
Okay.
every day, but it was that and a lot of snacks, but it was the amount that I was eating.
Hmm. Okay. And then after you left the job, you were eating the exact same way.
Yes, with a little bit more snacking.
And what was your snacking like?
I I loved pomegranates.
Okay.
The pomegranate seeds, I
That's a
love
good
those a
snack.
lot. That is a good
I
snack.
thought you were about to say Snickers.
No, I hate Snickers. I hate Snickers. I hate Snickers. I prefer to put peanut butter in dates and dip it in chocolate.
Okay,
I don't
stop.
like
Stop. Mm-mm.
it
No,
tastes
no,
good.
no, 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 no. Keep going.
Have you had it?
I don't want that.
I'm obsessed. I would say like potato chips, but
Okay.
not a lot. I was eating 3 times a day, but I think the foods that I ate became very
Hmm.
calorie dense, if that makes sense.
And you ate a lot of fried foods.
Not no, not often.
Okay.
It was, like, for example, we're like pizza, for example, like that's bread
Hmm.
and cheese. Cheese is just like really calorie dense. At the time, I was not focusing on caloric intake or value. It wasn't really important to me. I was just eating to eat.
Right.
But now that I've become more conscious about they're like I'll do Greek yogurt over sour cream. Like there are just healthier options, and I
Yeah.
was not thinking about those healthier options then. So yes, post quitting the job, I was eating the food I needed to work out, and I was no longer working out.
Okay.
So like normal people food, I just stopped being physically active.
So when you started thinking about losing weight, what exactly was on your mind? I've just gained so much and now I have to lose, or was it something deeper that happened, or
It was a combination of a few things. It was
mm-hmm,
primarily how my body felt.
mm-hmm.
Um I am very short, so my bones can't hold the amount of weight that I had gotten up to. So my knees just started to really take the weight, literally and figuratively. My knees started to take the weight, and it was just too much for my body. It slowed me down. I didn't feel good. My skin was breaking out. Then it was seeing one particular photo of myself, not realizing that I had gotten that large or that's what I looked
Mm,
like, because you look at yourself every day and the
that is
growth and the
so
change
real.
is gradual. Yes, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that I was getting as big as I was until I saw the picture. So
You
it
know,
took a photo.
that triggered something because I remember I did a lot of mission work, and I remember taking a picture. I was part of a group called Artists International. They had a garment called the Body Magic, and I was one of the presidents with the company, and I lost a lot of weight with it. But I remember having a picture that I would show, and whenever I showed it, people always said, "That looks like your grandmother." And I'm thinking, oh my
Oh.
gosh. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And I literally was in my mid 30s. Mid 30s. But that just took me to another level, knowing that I really needed to lose more weight. But I had already started the process in working with that particular company at that time. But just to look at a photo just triggered something. And it's like, my God, what was I really going through? That I was at a Pentecostal church,
Mm.
number one, where they did not wear a lot of makeup, jewelry. I mean, it was just a lot going on. And my skirts were always long, my shirts were always up to my neck, and just looking at me, I did look like somebody's grandma. And I'm like, some things have got to change. And God had already moved me from one church to another church, so that changed. You know, my wardrobe changed, everything changed at that point. But that photo I always keep, and I always look back at it to remind me that I do not want to go back there.
And that's real. I actually
Mm-hmm.
deleted the picture. I don't have the photo. I didn't want reminding because to me she no longer exists.
Mm.
Um
Wow.
So I don't need that. I think what's more important now is just to stay active and pay attention to how my body feels. But I do have like certain fitness goals.
Mm-hmm. Tell me this. What have you learned about yourself that had nothing to do with weight?
Before we continue, let's pause for just a moment. This is for the woman who knows she's meant to feel better in her body, but hasn't quite known where to begin. If that sounds like you, Rethinking Weight was created with you in mind. Inside the Rethinking Weight membership, you'll find steady encouragement, nourishing plant-based recipes, and a supportive community that reminds you you're not walking this journey alone. And if membership isn't your next step just yet, the Rethinking Weight e-cookbooks are a beautiful place to start. Filled with real food, practical guidance, and simple shifts that can make a meaningful difference. Whenever you're ready, visit rethinkingweight.com and take one gentle step forward. We'll be right here.
That would be like underneath a mindset and emotional growth at this
It
point.
a few things, but the first thing that came to mind is that I'm programmed to finish what's on my plate.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. So I do have portion control. Like I put what is the appropriate amount to eat on my plate, but recently I've been paying attention to how quickly I eat. So I've like started to chew more, but in chewing more and eating slower, I realized that I get full a lot faster because I'm giving my body time to process the food. But yeah, when you're a kid, you hear a clean plate is a happy plate, or finish all your food, or if you want, like said Sweet Treat, make sure you eat all your food. It's okay not to eat all your food.
Mine was I had to eat everything on my plate. So I have always had that in the back of my mind that I have to finish everything that's on my plate and then have a dessert afterwards because that's the process of what you do. Eat your food, have something sweet. That's your treat. And that has carried me all my life as well. There's habits that accumulate in our lives that I think our parents don't even realize what they're instilling inside of us that carry us throughout our entire life. I have to finish everything on my plate. And I don't hear my mom.
Wait though.
I don't hear her, but it's there.
In retrospect, I'm looking back, I did just state that I didn't have weight problems. The finish everything on your plate came from me being underweight as a child. I was very, very small, and they kept trying to feed me, and I wouldn't eat. I was like very picky as well, and the doctor told my mom, "Well, stop trying to feed her, and she'll start eating." And she stopped trying to feed me, and I started eating everything, but they would still encourage me to eat.
Wow.
So yeah, I think the idea of finishing everything on my plate came from the fact that I was just a little smaller as a kid.
I don't think people realize what happens to them in childhood carries them throughout life. And I know I just said that before, but I don't think people really realize it. I think in that moment, as a parent, you want what's best for your child. And back in the day, my mother cooked from scratch.
Yeah, mine
I
too.
I remember going to a friend's house down the street, and a lot of them were adopted kids, but they felt like they were all brothers and sisters in the family. That's how they were raised and treated. And I remember going down, and they were just finishing dinner, but I think one of the children hadn't eaten yet, and something was in the oven. I was like, "Ooh, that smells good. What is that?" I'm like maybe 10 years old. They're like, "Oh, that's it's a chicken pot pie." I'm like,
Mm.
a chicken pot pie? What is that?"
What?
They were like, "It's a chicken pot pie." And I was like, "What's a chicken pot pie?" "It's a TV dinner." I mean,
Regina, you
and
didn't
at
have
this
homemade
point,
chicken pot pies?
no, I didn't know anything about that. No, and everybody, and there had to be like maybe 7 people in the room. They were like, "It's a TV dinner." And I'm like, "What's a TV dinner?" And they looked at me like, "For real? Like, stop playing." I was like, I don't know what a TV dinner is. So they took it out of the oven and showed it to me. I was like, "It looks like a pie." And they were like, "Because it is a pie. It just has vegetables and chicken inside." And I was like, "Well, wait a minute. I don't understand." They were like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "You've never seen this?" And then they went into the freezer and they took out other chicken pot pies. I was like, I've never seen those before. Because my mother cooked from scratch. My
Yeah.
father cooked from scratch. So we never had food like that. But the food that they did buy, because those were, I guess, as far as my family is concerned, expensive. It was cheaper just to buy it and cook it. And they did that every day or every other day. We rarely had leftovers. But I bet you if she put something on that plate and she filled my plate, I had to eat it. And then if I wanted more, absolutely you can have more. You just have to finish what's on your plate. So those are habits from childhood. And I've had
Yeah.
to force myself even to try to break that. It's a yoke. I had to break that yoke.
Yeah.
This whole thing of rethinking weight is not just trying to help other people. It's helping me too. I'm a
Yeah.
plus size girl, helping others that are plus sizes or others that are curvy girls, whatever size you are. Almost everybody wants to lose weight. But for me, this is holding me accountable too. This helps me as well.
But I also think in rethinking weight, it's important to rethink food. I feel like as a
Yes,
country, the
yes.
way we think about food is just very unhealthy in general. What's in
Hmm.
the food, how the
Oh,
FDA is like approving and not approving certain foods, the pesticides that's put on fruits and vegetables, and how organic is not truly organic,
it's
where the
not.
meat is being sort like the food is just really bad here. We have very poor quality food, and I think that also affects our weight directly. And it's not just fat, it's also inflammation. Because if you go to other countries and eat the same food that you would eat here, you lose weight.
Yeah. Yes. I can't tell you how much weight I lost when I lived in Israel for 2.5 months. And every corner had a grocery store. There was a big grocery store, and then every corner had small grocery stores, and then there would be another big grocery store like almost 2 blocks away from each other. I'm like, why are there stores all around here, every corner? And that's because they purchased for the day, and then they would go shopping again for the next day or the next two
Yeah.
days. And
Yeah.
everything was fresh. When I walked into that store, I could smell where the meat was. I could smell where the vegetables were. I could smell where the fruits were. And it was hilarious when I went over to where the vegetables were, because I'm like, why is this dirt everywhere? Like, I can't believe this. They couldn't clean it up. And then all of a sudden, now I'm the only black girl that's in Israel by herself, right? And I'm really a big size girl, and I'm all of a sudden I started laughing hysterically, and I realized this just came out of the ground. Hello, it's not like at the store in the States. You can smell these. You don't know what the
Yeah.
vegetables
Yeah.
are in the States. You see them, but you don't smell them. You can literally smell every vegetable there. And it was just absolutely amazing and different to be able to go shopping
Yeah.
and eat real food.
Yeah.
And you're right, organic is not organic. The person, I won't go into details, but the person who created the label organic even says it's for marketing. It has nothing to do with being really organic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. They're selling us on what is better for you just to add a price tag to get more money from you. But what's really real besides growing your own?
Right.
Going to a
But
farmer's
in in
market,
and
finding
even
real
then,
farmers.
in growing your own food, can we talk about how the seeds from the food today that we're growing the food from is not the same as the seeds from the food that was being grown back then? Because the nutrition has reduced significant. Like, I think I saw an article or something that said it takes 3 oranges today to equal out to the nutritional value of one orange from
Wow.
when my mom was a kid.
Wow.
Like, the food is just, it's not the same.
It's not. It's not.
But then also, it's the way that we're eating as a people. There's this book by Dr. Layla Africa that talks about what makes Black people Black and how to do it the right way.
Mm.
And we, as people of the sun, need to be eating with the sun and in the sun. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's called circadian rhythm or something, but like eating 3 to 5 times a day was never the norm for our people to begin with. And then eating sugar-filled breakfasts, like the whole like dessert for breakfast, waffles, pancakes, French
Yeah.
toast, cereal,
Right.
cinnamon rolls, ice cream. Like, you breakfast can be savory too. I just think our relationship around food as a whole is completely distorted, and it needs to be reshaped.
Well, breakfast was actually break fast.
Yeah.
Breaking your fast, not eating something as soon as you wake up in the morning. Your
Yeah.
body hasn't had time to process anything. You should be drinking some warm, about 16
Warm
ounces of
water.
warm water,
Yep. So that you
just
can
be,
kickstart your digestive system.
exactly, because you've been sleeping for, I hope you're sleeping for 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours. At least you
Yeah.
should be, for your body to repair itself and to heal. But your body has been dormant, and you've been fasting, and now your body
Yeah.
needs It's been dehydrating, and you need to
Yeah.
hydrate yourself.
You got to give it something to help get rid of the food from last night.
Yeah. And hopefully you didn't eat before you went to sleep.
Mm.
You need time for your body to process that food.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people get acid reflux. You're eating late, you're eating fried, you're eating greasy, you're eating all this stuff, and then you're laying down. All your body can do is have it come back up into your throat or even mucus.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is learning your body. I found out the hard way before I started becoming a vegetarian that I could not eat cheese. So then it went from, well, dang, I can't eat cheese. Every time I eat cheese, I have all this mucus and I'm gagging and coughing up stuff. And it's like, ew, this is like gross. Like every single time, you've got a problem with cheese. So then it's like if I
Yeah.
have pizza and it's like, okay, well then no cheese, then people look at you like crazy. Like, how do you eat pizza with no cheese? I'm like,
Easy.
that's easy. It's simple and it's delicious now. But now I make my own because I'm making my own bread because I have to eat gluten free. I have a
Really?
problem with gluten. My body does not process gluten at all. You have to know your body. You have to learn what it doesn't like. And when it tells you, you have to listen to it, or there's consequences.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's major consequences, and so I have to stay away from that. So now I make my own bread, and it's so doggone good, it's ridiculous. All
I
that is
believe you.
part of my, I have them all in my cookbooks as well. But it is just so interesting that even sugar, anything sweet, I cannot eat anything sweet like after 7 p.m. or else again, it's going to formulate some kind of mucus. And I'm not talking about just eating sugar. It could be anything sweet. It could be strawberries. It can be blueberries. It can be dates. It doesn't matter. Anything sweet after a certain time, I'm going to be up drinking hot lemon water trying to flush it down because I've got some kind of mucus that has formulated. I have learned that I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And I've stopped doing it. And as soon as I stopped, I don't have those issues. If I decide that I quote unquote accidentally on purpose forget, guess what happens? I am going to have that same issue. So I realize, I look at it as like, do I want it? Do I want it? Yeah, you want it, but you know what's going to happen, so you don't do it. So, but I really want
Yeah.
it. Okay, but that's okay because you know what's going to happen, but I really want it. It's okay if you don't have it, but I really want it. I mean, it's an argument that
So
I
then,
go
yeah.
back and forth with myself on not having that because it's not worth it. Because what is it really doing to my body? My body is telling me something.
Yeah.
It's fighting against me and it's telling me you're in a fight and I'm going to win if you eat that,
Yeah.
you know?
I've learned that. So I recently just got into like finding out your blood type and eating for your blood type. I found out
Yeah.
that I cannot eat chicken. I don't digest corn, which makes so much sense. And
We're not
that's
supposed to
that's
eat
something that we
corn.
don't talk about enough though.
No.
No
Mm-mm.
corn, popcorn,
Corn
corn chips,
corn is
tortillas,
not meant
none of it.
is not meant for humans.
Yeah, and neither is dairy or cheese.
No, no,
We're the
no.
only mammals that consume dairy after infancy.
Well,
And
if
then
you
we
want,
consume it from not our mother.
oh, that's another whole story. There is a video called, if you all out there listening and really want to understand why you should not be having dairy, it's called Scary Dairy. It's a young woman, and she is talking about what really happens. And it is disgusting. And it was so disgusting for me that I realized at that moment, that's not something I want to put in my body
Yeah.
because it's not meant to go into my body.
Yeah.
And again, it's part of that whole issue with the mucus problems that I was having trying to have cheese.
Yeah.
You know, I can force
Yeah.
it all day long. I love cheese. Oh my gosh, Gouda, blue, oh,
Oh,
blue cheese.
halloumi,
Oh my
pepper jack.
gosh. Oh my my gosh. The list just goes on and on. Extra extra sharp cheddar cheese
Ew, I don't like cheddar.
with some Ritz crackers and some grapes, baby. I'm telling you, it was on and popping.
I don't, yeah, I'm not a fan of the cheddar. I don't like cheddar cheese.
But it didn't matter what it's called. It literally was not good for my body. And my
No.
body was telling me no every time I said yes.
I figured out that I didn't react well to certain foods after a cleanse. So like every
Mm-hmm.
year I do a 21-day raw vegan alkaline cleanse,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
your body is super sensitive to what you put in it after the cleanse. So you have to be really careful reintroducing food
Yes.
and reintroducing cooked food.
Yep.
So post cleanse, if I eat something and my body doesn't agree with it, I'm gonna know right away.
Now tell me this. How much have you lost altogether so far? And in what time span?
Since my heaviest, which was 230, I've lost 75 pounds.
Oh, that is so
Two
awesome.
years ago, or I would say a year and a half ago, I did one of those 21-day cleanses,
Mm-hmm.
and I dropped 30 pounds in 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I maintained that weight for about a year. No, no, I would say I maintained that weight for about 6 or 7 months. And then I started working out heavily last November, the end of November. So November 29th, December 1st. And from then to now, I would say I lost the rest of the weight. I think I'm sitting in between like 157 and 160.
Oh, I wish.
Um, and I feel good. And I feel good because the weight hasn't come back. Because I know a lot of people worry about, oh, losing that amount of weight in such
Right.
a short period of time,
Right.
is it going to come back? And my argument for that is going to be no, because one, some of that weight was inflammation, and two,
Mm-hmm.
if it's not supposed to be there, it's gonna come off.
Now tell me this. How much have you gained anything of that 75 pounds that you lost?
Do you ever feel like your body is constantly under everyday stress? When your system stays in overdrive, it can affect how you digest, how you rest, and even how clearly you think. That's because your body's communication line, the vagus nerve, helps regulate the connection between your brain, gut, and immune system. When that connection is strained, it can impact your sense of calm, energy, and overall well-being. That's where Fix comes in. Formulated with a unique matured extract, Fix is designed to support healthy vagus nerve activity, helping your body shift from fight or flight into a more balanced, relaxed state. By promoting natural balance, Fix supports digestive comfort, mental clarity, relaxation, and metabolic health, so you can feel centered, focused, and at ease. Find Fix at thelivinghealthygroup.com.
Or have you gained anything of that 75 pounds that you lost?
No.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, where would you like to be?
Honestly, it's not really a number. Okay, so it's not directly a number for me.
Okay.
I just want to be able to see abs, but in order for me to see a visible six pack, I'm gonna have to cut down to like 145, 150.
Okay.
So the number is indirect, but I just want to see muscle serrations. That's really it. Just so I can have a picture of me with a six pack to like put in the archive and tell my kids, yeah, this was your mama in the 20s.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, and then once I get there, I'll decide whether or not if I can maintain it, because it's gonna take a lot of work to keep your body fat percentage that low all the time.
Now, that's interesting. Now, for me, I was doing something called rolling 72. My highest was 265. And at that time, my boyfriend had to been like well over 200, but maybe like 210.
Hmm.
Maybe 210 for him, for his bone structure. That was a whole lot. And so we started doing rolling 72 together. Rolling 72 is where you literally fast for just water for 72 hours, which is
Hmm.
basically 3 days.
Yeah.
And then you eat very modestly a salad, something, nothing fried, mostly vegetables and fruits. And then that day is over, and guess what? You jump right back on it again for 72 hours.
Uh-huh.
And I did that, and I lost quite a bit. I lost a good maybe 20 something pounds.
How long did you do it for?
I did it maybe for a month, about a month's time. And then I stopped. So you know what happens if you don't change your mind, your mindset, you go right back to the way that you were eating. So it started picking up a little bit. So I remember one day we were driving, we were heading to Whole Foods, and he was like, we really should. No, he said you should, because he lost quite a bit, and he was well in about maybe 160 something pounds. So he lost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you should really get on Rolling 72 again. I said, but I have to eat. He says, yes, but it worked and you need to get back on it. And I said, but I have to eat.
Yeah.
And he said it a third time, and now I'm really getting upset and mad because you now are a skinny thing talking to me that is a plus size, and
Yeah.
and now I'm having an issue, and I screamed loud, I have to eat. And something resonated in my spirit. And so I remember the next day, I'm like, Lord, I hear him, but I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
I can't do that. And so I remember, you know how you look at something on Facebook, it's a picture or something, or somebody's birthday, and the next thing you know, you're in the videos for the
Yeah.
next 10, 20 minutes. And I'm
Oh.
scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling. And I hear this guy say, today is your day. And this is the last time that you'll have to do another program. And I'm like, poof. And I'm like
Right.
scrolling, and God said, go back. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. He said, go back. And it was this program again. And I'm like, oh, God, it's another one. He was like, listen to it. And so I followed it, and they had this particular type of a plan. And when I joined the actual workshop, he was like, now you probably are going to have to go into your kitchen and throw away like everything that's in there if you plan on doing this plan. And I loved everything that he was saying that was resonating with my spirit. And we were looking at each other like, yes, I can do this. I had just gone shopping. But I mean, literally had just gone shopping.
Mm.
And I went in through the refrigerators and my cabinets, and I threw away everything that did not go into this plan. And I'm like, I'm serious. I feel this. I hear you, God. And this
Right.
was the plan for me. And I lost 58 pounds with that
Oh.
plan, which is equivalent to 8 gallons of water. And I felt so good. Now, was that realistic? Very realistic. I found out one thing, that oils of any sort have a calorie density of 4,000. That's huge. And I've
Yeah.
noticed that when I eat anything with oils, I start gaining weight. If I stop, I lose the weight. So see, that goes right there with you've got to know your body.
Yes.
Stop that plan. It made me and forced me to being a full vegetarian
Yeah.
/ vegan-ish. I'll eat wild caught salmon every now and again, not often, or whitefish that's wild caught,
Mm-hmm.
but basically vegetarian.
Yeah.
And
Omnivore's Dilemma, mostly vegetarian. There's this
okay,
book where it's like you should be eating mostly fruits and vegetables
exactly,
and
exactly,
occasionally meat.
and occasionally, yes. And so I have not been eating meat. I've gained maybe, actually, I'm 5 pounds away from no, I'm about 10 pounds away from where I was. But that's huge because any other diet, quote unquote diet, that I had ever been a part of, whenever I lost it, I would gain it and about 5 to 10 more. And
Yeah,
so that's
because
how I got up to 265. I kept gaining and losing, or losing and gaining and losing and gaining. right? And that's the whole process with a lot of people. But go ahead, go ahead. You were
I think
about to
it's
make a
mainly
point.
because the methods used for weight loss weren't necessarily sustainable, which is why people asked me after my cleanse, did I
Right?
gain some of the weight back? And the surprisingly, the answer is no. I think to get to the point that I'm at now, it wasn't restrictive eating. It was just like overall smarter food choices. Like you mentioned, the oil. It's very easy to cook with too much oil. You know, culturally, we saute everything in oil. People don't know that we can water saute vegetables, but
And
if you
it
don't
tastes
want to,
even better. And what I do now is I use balsamic vinegar. I have a balsamic vinegar that I use that is very clean, no, no sugars or anything added to it. It's all natural. And that's what I saute with if I don't saute with water. You don't need the oil to saute.
no, you don't. But even if I know it's really hard for for some people to come off the oil, you can use, they have this bottle where you spray the oil and you use way less opposed to pouring oil. Because if you free pour oil, you just poured 400 calories of oil in the pan to cook the
Oh,
food
or
in.
way more.
Yeah, or more,
Depends
depending
on,
on what you're cooking.
that's right. Or how many different things you're cooking that need oil. See, it's
Yeah.
not about that 1 teaspoon or that 1 tablespoon. It's like if you're doing mixed vegetables or you're sauteing your onions or you're sauteing whatever else or you're cooking your chicken, you're adding, and then don't add butter to that madness. You know,
Right.
you have so many right there before you even eat it. It's doomed.
Listen,
It's so
look,
hard.
I like butter. Listen, I like butter, but in finding out my blood type, I've also found that I can't do seed oils, period. It's recommended
Nobody
for
is
me to use
supposed to.
butter.
We're not supposed to use seed oil.
So I use butter instead of seed oil, and
Okay.
it does okay by me. Like I'm all right. But I also don't use like an absurd amount either.
Okay. Okay. So now tell me this solutions, because this is all about understanding where we are, what we've been through, but what are the solutions? Right now, you're looking at losing. I'm sorry, we're not going to use that word. Releasing, because if you lose something, you're trying to find it. I'm not trying to find what I lost, right?
Right.
So I don't want it back. So, in your releasing process, how much more do you want to release, and what is your process to get there? Or do you
um,
have a process? You're looking for a process.
I would say I have a process.
Okay, what's your process?
Honestly, is just to get back in the gym. I
Okay.
feel that what I have been eating, what I've been eating has pretty much kept me where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my eating is not super restrictive. I eat what I want when I want to eat it, because if I deny myself that, then
Mm-hmm.
it's
That
like
is
you
so
find other
good.
things to try to fill that craving, and then you still end up eating it, and it's like you could have just ate the cookie. I think I want to release maybe another 15 or 20 pounds. It's
Okay.
really important to me to get to a six pack.
Do you have a time frame?
I'd like to do it in the next 2 months.
Okay. Start it or be there in 2 months.
Be there in two
Oh,
months.
that means you need to start right away.
Yeah. Yeah. I started back consistently 2 days ago. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I've been okay.
So now you are being held accountable for this plan that you have in your mind.
Oh, because it's recorded.
And everybody else is going to know about it because we're going to talk about your process, right? Just like me, I'm in this too. I'm not alone in this. I have everyone who listens to these podcast shows to hold me accountable as well. You know, if I'm not losing and I'm gaining and I'm talking about weight loss, there's a problem, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm being held accountable too, which is what I love. I'm here to help support and help push, but I'm doing the same thing for me. And you can help hold me accountable as well. That's what this
Yeah.
is all about.
Yeah.
This is all about community and us all helping each other and being there for each other.
Yeah. What they don't talk about is and I'm not promoting the gaining of weight during the podcast. what I'm trying to get at is there are phases to fitness journeys.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that muscle and fat don't weigh the same amounts, but there are times where in losing weight, I'm seeing certain things in my body that I would like to change or make adjustments to that would require me to gain muscle in certain spots, which means that my weight is going to go up because I'm gaining muscle. So I just thought I'd throw that out there that it's it's an up and down, but it's okay. Like, you're gonna get to your goal at the end of the day. So I do think it's important to
Absolutely.
grant yourself grace throughout the process, because
Absolutely.
as women, we do have multiple phases throughout a month, and weight does fluctuate, and water weight is
And
a thing,
age
and
makes a
salt.
difference as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So grant yourself some grace, because every 4 weeks I gain 10 pounds of water weight overnight. So, and then I get upset with myself, and then 5 days later I dropped 12 pounds like that. So it's okay.
This is good. I thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to add before we leave?
Yeah, work out and eat right for your health. That's it. If you want to make it about aesthetics and confidence, do that too. But the goal should be to be healthy at the end of the day. So do what you got to do to reach like the optimal level of health, like become the best version of yourself. Because even if looking at you now, you think that this is the best that I've ever been, there's still a version of you out there that's better than where you are now. So keep striving for growth.
That's good. And I would have to add to that, do it for yourself, not for somebody
And
else.
nobody else.
And nobody else. As much as I love my boyfriend,
I know that's right.
I, I I heard what he said and I understand what he's saying. And now he's like 145 pounds, and it's like,
Must be nice.
oh man, just and it's just so, it's harder for us than it is for men, right? But he doesn't,
Yeah.
he doesn't do what he did before. We had a great conversation, and I explained to him, you can't share that with me being where you are, but you can help and undergird me when I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I've been losing. I've lost another 7 pounds, and I'm excited about that. And it's like, it's a process. And of course, it's always when you are ready. But understand this, you are important, and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
That is the key. That is the
Yeah.
main key. Yeah. I love you.
I love you too. Oh, and don't compare fitness journeys. Don't compare where you are to anybody
Oh,
else.
that's so true too. Yes, 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 yes. I thank you so much. Thank you for being in the studio today. I appreciate
Of
you.
course. Thank you for having me.
And we will talk with you soon.
All
You
right, I'll
have a,
see you in 2 months.
yes. Well, I want to hear progress before 2 months, and
Okay.
everybody else wants to hear it too.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Take care. Be blessed. I love
You
you.
too. Love you
Bye
too.
bye. Wow. I just love these conversations. Every woman has a story. The question is, what's yours? If you'd like to share your journey and be our next guest, head over to rethinkingweight.com, click the little arrow next to Podcast Library, and you'll see Submit Your Story. You could be selected to join us on the Journey is Real series. Now, we have more one-on-one conversations coming your way. But next up is our mental health awareness episode with Alex Schloss, a mental health therapist. And listen, it's powerful. You don't want to miss it. I love y'all, and I'll see you next time.